views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm Daren Jaime. Today we're going to update you on what's happening in and around our borough. Coming up, a Haitian-born and Bronx-bound author, poet, and retired professor joins us to discuss his works. And afterwards, a motivational Bronx teacher tells us more about how he uses the power of sports to keep his students away from negative influences. Next, we're going to speak to the director of a unique community child care center. Stay tuned to find out what exactly is unique about it. And then after that, we're going to learn more about two new school facilities opening soon in Manhattan and the borough of the Bronx. And then today is Dominican Independence Day. Later on in the show, we're going to learn about a benefit aiming to help disadvantaged communities and close the cycle of poverty in the Dominican Republic happening soon. And then lastly, we're going to discuss some of the law changes coming from Albany with attorney and host of today's verdict, David Lesch. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. Hello, everyone. I'm Daren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, February 27th, and you're watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to encourage you and thank you for all of our viewers on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is now being broadcast live simultaneously on MNN's channel. Now, you can stay connected to us at Twitter at BronxNet TV and on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. Well, a lot has certainly been going on through the past week. We'll take you through it now with some Bronx updates. The race for public advocate came to an end last night with Brooklyn Democrat Jumaane Williams taking the seat. 17 candidates ran for the position, one being Assemblyman Michael Blake right here from the borough of the Bronx. Our BronxNet cameras were at the Assemblyman's watch party at Bistro last night. Our correspondent Sanji Lopez brings us the story.
The race for public advocate brought forth 17 candidates fighting to serve as the second highest ranking elected official in New York City and watchdog in governmental to public affairs. Among the candidates was Assemblyman Michael Blake, representing the 79th District of the Bronx. He addressed a crowd of supporters at Bistro following a long campaign night.
And I want us to understand that we have more work to do. This is just a moment, but it's about being invested for a movement. It's about understanding that you cannot just be focused on what happens by a 15-hour ordeal in an election. You have to be committed for weeks and months and years. You got to be able to say that I'm not worried about what happens in one night. I am focused on helping someone for a lifetime.
Blake's For the People campaign raised $1.2 million in 3 months, and with this being the first citywide special election, his being from the Bronx helped get many locals on board with his cause.
A lot of folks didn't know the assembly member from the Bronx, and so the Boogie Down is now on the board, and that's a great thing, both for the Bronx but also for the people of New York, to understand a native son, Jamaican roots, who's really demonstrated the leadership that we have developed in this city of our own residents.
Oh, look, this is home. And people can tell we related to them. We made a connection to them. We were able to tell our story. And it's a story that people now can see and say, you know what, there's something different about him. And whether it be on Crescent and Burnside or growing up and going to DeWitt Clinton High School, they know they met someone who is connected to the ground. And that's who I am.
The campaign was a family affair. Blake was often surrounded by his mother, amicably called Mama Hillary, and his brother and veteran, Donovan.
Everywhere I went around the city, it was usually one or two things. when they would tell me, like, we love your commercial because we love Obama and we love your mama.
While the assemblyman was beat by opponent Jumaane Williams, who won with 33.1% of votes, he assured the crowd that this was not a loss. It is only the beginning.
We congratulate Councilman Williams on his victory. He has done the work. He has earned this on tonight. But we continue to build. This is not the end for us. So if you're ready to keep building with us, we're telling you that we're ready. If you're ready to keep joining with us and mobilizing with us, we're telling you that we're ready. We showed people tonight that this is just the beginning when you invest in the Bronx. And I'm going to keep reminding people, if my family could go from no house in Jamaica to the Black House at Northwestern, to the White House in D.C., to the State House in Albany, this is not the end destination. This is just the beginning.
And the assemblyman's job is not done. He'll of course head back to work in his district, his issues being public and affordable housing, the MTA, and jobs and criminal justice reform. But for now, he's got one thing in mind.
I don't know. We sleep. Sleep.
With Jumaane Williams winning special elections tonight, he will serve in the position as public advocate until the end of the year. Primary elections for the position will be held in June, with the general elections in November. Reporting for BronxNet, Sanji Lopez.
And thank you, Sanji. Also in news, former City Council Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito was also in the race for public advocate. She came in third place, garnering about 43,000 votes. That's about 11%. Well, in other news, transit news, the MTA will begin their pilot for their new fare system, aiming to phase out the MetroCard by the year 2023. The new system will be called Omni, short for One Metro New York. Agency employees will be testing out the new contactless cards starting this week, according to a memo sent to workers. The new system allows riders to wave their credit card or phone near a scanner to pay for their fare. Now, in order to test this out, some turnstiles and buses have already received the technology for it. Riders will be able to use the methods in entryways to the system in the year 2020. After that, the MTA will then release its own, quote, tap card so that riders can choose between using that or their own credit card or their phone. The MTA will keep the MetroCard up and running in the meantime, the same way the agency did when tokens phased out in 2003. Now, the new system is going to be similar to how London, Chicago, and Toronto currently deal with fare payment. In New York State government news, a lawmaker representing a suburban rural district in eastern New York has proposed a study to split New York into two separate states. Now, this isn't the first time the theme reached the Capitol. The idea of splitting upstate New York and the New York City metro area in two has come up periodically in Albany, but never going beyond the proposal stage. Well, now Republican Senator Daphne Jordan says it's time to examine what the split would actually look like. Jordan's measures defines downstate as all 5 of New York City's boroughs, Long Island, Nassau, and Suffolk counties, and Westchester and Rockland counties. The other state's 53 counties will be considered upstate. Supporters of the idea have pointed to the growing divide between the two regions' political and social leanings. Many of the issues affecting downstate may not affect upstate counties, some say, and with every statewide elected office, the Assembly and now the Senate being controlled by Democrats, Republican upstate lawmakers say their regions will be ignored now more than ever before. So the question is, what do you think? Should New York State split in two? Well, now you have an opportunity to share your thoughts with us on social media at Instagram at BronxNet TV and Facebook at BronxNet Community Television. Well, that's all the Bronx Updates we'll have. We'll be right back right after this.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
And welcome back. The Dream Project's 7th annual Sueños benefit helps expand their educational programs, impact more disadvantaged communities, and close the cycle of poverty in the Dominican Republic. Joining us now to share with us a little bit more about the event, we welcome now board member of the Dream Project, Carla Fash, and we thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us, Daren.
Good. So this is a very special time for you guys, and for those people who aren't familiar with the Dream Project, let's first talk a little bit about what the Dream Project is.
We're a nonprofit organization in the United States and Dominican Republic, and we provide educational programs to disadvantaged kids.
And so providing programs for disadvantaged kids, you know, you've got a project that's going on right now, and it's a very special project called the Dream Project. So I know that you guys started, you know, as a non-for-profit.
We started, it's a non-profit organization. We started in 1995 when students from Dartmouth College came to help to volunteer in public schools. And from there, we have grown we serve more than 9,000 children in Dominican Republic. 14 programs in 27 communities. And we also provide services and education and programs to their parents, to the parents of the kids.
And you got an event coming up called Sueños. So let's talk about Sueños.
Sueños is dream in Spanish. And we started this fundraiser 7 years ago in Manhattan. And every year we have Sueños, and this year is Sueños 2019, our 7th event. And it's our main fundraiser of the year for our programs. 100% of the proceeds go directly to the educational programs.
And you got some very special things happening at this. You know, you got Beat Winner Bobby Flay. He's actually going to be making a demonstration.
We have Chef Kelvin, which is a Dominican chef here in New York, and he specializes in gourmet Dominican food, and he's going to be preparing that for us, for the people that buy the VIP ticket. And we also have, the whole night, we're going to have famous people like Tasha Polanco from Orange is the New Black. We have Tay Diggs. We also have Congressman Adriano Espaillat, which I'm sure you know who he is.
Of course we do.
And we're going to have a few shows going on during the night. And one of the main shows after Chef Kevin does all these amazing Dominican dish preparations, we're going to have the Dream Bachata Band. They're all coming from Dominican Republic this year, and they're going to be performing with the star from School of Rock Broadway show, Brandon, and also Doug Wimbish of Living Colors. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah. So at the end of this, you know, obviously people have an opportunity to, you know, be a part of this fundraiser. But talk to us on the backside of what it means to have the public actually collaborate with you for work that really is going to really help not just students, but people in the Dominican Republic. You
know, we actually see more than 9,000 students from we have programs that range from 2 years old to 25 years old. So we have elementary, primary, and also at-risk youth programs. So, you know, and we go to the poorest communities in Dominican Republic, all around Dominican Republic. And every year we see more kids, every year we add more programs, every year we bring more volunteers from the U.S. to help us. We have a summer camp every year that we see more than 1,000 kids, because we have, there's a lot of research that says that during the summer, because it's a very long time, kids go a little bit backwards. So we provide summer camps to enrich them and to help them stay in place.
For people who want more information, what do they do?
DominicanDream.org. They can buy the tickets, DominicanDream.org. If they can't come to the event, they can donate. And if they can't come this year, they can come next year. We have it every year. It's our main fundraiser. So we need a lot of help.
And also for people who may not be so familiar with what goes on in the Dominican Republic and the work that you guys are doing, what are you seeing and what are you noticing out in the Dominican that maybe our audience can get some more information about?
What do you mean?
In terms of the work that goes on, right? You're going and you're supporting and you're doing that. But in terms of what people don't know, what is something that maybe people don't know?
Well, yeah, you know, we have actually the poorest educational system of Latin America. And that's why programs like this is very important to provide education to kids, because that's the only thing that's going to change their poverty, so they can get out of poverty. It's a beautiful country. We're more than 8 million people.
Right.
We share the island with Haiti. Today is our Independence Day.
Right.
27th of February, 1844, we became independent from Haiti. And Yeah, we're big in tourism. We have beautiful beaches.
And some work that still needs to be done in the educational system.
A lot of work, and that's why we're here, and that's why we need your help.
So if you can, come on out and support the Dream Project. We invite you to do that. Carla, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Now, I want to tell you, if you want to support the Dream Project and you really want to help make a difference, once again, visit DominicanDream.org. There you see the event taking place Thursday, February 28th, 6:30 to 10 p.m. The Mezzanine, 55 Broadway, and the website at the bottom of your screen. Got more shows. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
And we are back here on Open. He's a Haitian-American writer who's written various books such as Running the Road to ABC, Father and Son, The Black Warrior, and other poems celebrating Haitian culture and loaning themselves to African-American studies. He's also working on a foundation to help needy children. We welcome now Denizé Lauture, author, educator, and founder of Total Kindness, and welcome.
Thank you for having me here. I'm very honored to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and you do some great work, and you're an author, and part of your work is really talking about children and empowerment. Talk to us a little bit about the work that you do.
When I came here, I was a welder. I did not finish high school, and somehow I managed to get into City College evening program, and I had started to write poetry. So I wrote poetry in French, Creole, my first language, English. And I have a BA in sociology, a master's in bilingual ed, and another master in Spanish lit that I got from Lehman College.
And you take all this education, and you go ahead and you publish 10 books. You spend a lot of time writing children's books. And talk to us about what was behind you writing these books and what gave you your motivation?
Well, I'm from the countryside of Haiti. All my uncles, my fathers, they were born poets who did not have the chance to go to school. So that's why their names don't appear in the world as poet. I was the first one who had the chance to go to school. So when I came here, I started to write poetry when I came here in 1968. Suddenly, I was writing poetry, and poetry was in me. I am writing it.
And part of your legacy is, taking poetry and passing it on. And for those who are in Haiti, for those who are in the United States, worldwide, they have an opportunity to read your work. But then I also know that, with all that the challenges that Haiti has had, you've worked very hard. You've got a foundation, and you're doing some great work there. Talk a little bit about your foundation and the work that you're doing for Haiti.
Well, about Haiti, I have a brief poem. I'm reading it in English first, then in my first language, Creole. My mouth spits blood with each uttered word. I am from the guts of a land whose soul has been crucified, head down, upon a horrendous cross. In Haitian, diol mwen craché sang, ak chak son li pousse, mwen sorti nan zantray yon nation, ki gen nam li kloure, tête en bas, sou yon kwa malédiction. And, well, I have been, the plight of Haiti is deep in my heart. I suffer when the land across the sea is suffering. That's my native land. And I have tried to help. Therefore, in 2012, I contacted Pure Water for the World, and they referred me to Water for Life, and Water for Life to Food for the Poor was able to give us 16 artesian wells built in the countryside where I am from. I initiated the project. And the business I'm trying to create, which is called Total Kindness, because I care about human beings, I care about children, especially needy children. So I created in order to see if I could get some funds to help needy children everywhere in the world in the future.
Amazing work that he's done. Denizé Lauture, author, educator, and founder of Total Kindness. And if you don't know, he's built, or they've drilled 21 artisan wells out in the area where he was born in Haiti. A lot of the work going towards his, his reading, his writing, his foundation, going to support that work. What do you want Bronxites to know before we leave here about Haiti and about your work?
Well, Haiti, as I said in the poem, is a country that is being crucified because it was the first one which stood against slavery. And when Haiti became independent, all the other countries of the world were against Haiti. So, and we are a young country, and a country that was created by slaves when there were no hospitals, no school, no administration, nothing. So it is no wonder that we are still trying to keep the country going.
Denizé Lauture, poet and author. Now, you saw his information at the bottom of the screen. If you want to find out more information about Total Kindness and help his cause for needy children, we encourage you to visit totalkindness.com. And thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Oh, it's Black History Month. I had a poem for.
Oh, we got
Black word. Do I have a minute?
You got 10 seconds.
Oh no, it can be read in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I know. That's what live TV does.
What I will read in 10 seconds is, I am a poem unwritten. Write me, and I will be your poem. I am a song unsung. Sing me, and I will be your song.
Denizé Lauture, our guest here on Open. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merci en pile. Thank you in Creole.
Thank you much. Thank you much. All right, taking a quick break. He got more than 10 seconds. I want you to know I'm going to yield back my time so that way we can have show on time. Guess what? Taking a quick break. We'll be back with more Open. Stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
creak in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. Better know I'm scared of. But if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
And we are back here on Open. Have some very special guests for us. Our next guest has over 20 years of experience with teaching and motivating at-risk youth, steering them away from negative influences through sports. We welcome Anthony Apuzzi, who's the teacher at the New York Institute of Special Education. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Hey, glad to have you. And, you know, you're not just a teacher, you're a special teacher. And recently, the New York Islanders actually honored you for Teacher Appreciation Night because you have a way of connecting sports, memorabilia, and youth. But tell us about, first of all, being honored by the Islanders.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a diehard Ranger fan.
Yeah, but you had to take this
So
one.
I had to, they wanted me to put an Islanders jersey on, and I wouldn't do it. I was like, I can't disrespect my Rangers.
You're getting teacher appreciation.
I would have gotten killed by my friends if I put an Islanders jersey on.
All right, we'll give you the pass. But it had to be a great feeling.
It was amazing. It was a really, really special night. And everyone, I met a lot of great teachers, and we shared a lot of great experiences. And it was just a very nice honor for them to do.
You have a unique gift because you're able to actually touch students in such a way. You use sports and you use memorabilia in a way of rewarding students. Walk us through a little bit about how this all happened.
Man, I tell you, when I first started teaching, in the Bronx, and I inherited a group of kids that ran off 12 teachers in 7 months. They were the wildest class I've ever had in my life. As I started to get to know them, I started finding out that I had a classroom full of Yankee fans who had never been to a Yankee game before. And being that we were 2 blocks away from the stadium, I had to change that. So I got in contact with the Yankees, and they were nice enough to understand the situation I was in, and they treated us to a game. And while I was at the game, you know, I was doing my thing, going for autographs and stuff like that, and I was fortunate enough to get a couple of baseballs signed by Derek Jeter that day. And when I went back to the seats, I showed the kids, I was like, yo, Derek Jeter, and they were like, oh man, I would do anything for that. So I just said to the kid, I said, listen, I tell you what, if you get through the rest of 6th grade, you get through summer school, you get to 7th grade, you can have one of these. That kid worked his butt off for the rest of his school year and through summer school just to get that baseball. And that's what gave me the idea. And I had a few other kids come to me, and they're like, Mr. A, what could we do to get something like that? And I said, you know, just keep your grades up, do your homework, and do your thing, and you can have whatever you want. And it literally started to snowball after that. And I was spending all my time getting stuff signed just so I had it in the classroom to give away to the kids.
You didn't just do that though, but you know, about 8 years ago?
No, this goes back to 2001.
No, but I'm going back to 8 years ago.
Oh, you went back to 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
Oh, all right. You want to go there?
Yeah, I want to go there.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So
8 years ago, you help a student because you have a chunk of this memorabilia, and you actually sold it to help somebody go to college.
All right. So back again with the same class we were just talking about. One of the kids that was in that class had a particularly rough childhood. She lost both her parents when she was an infant, and she was being raised by her grandmother. And her dream was to become a doctor and go to med school. As a matter of fact, she graduated from Lehman College. But in working with her, her grandmother asked me if I would continue to work with her even when I left the Bronx. And I tutored her for a number of years. And in working with her, I really understood how important this goal was for her to become the first person in her family to graduate from college, and also go on to keep a promise that she made to her grandfather about becoming a doctor. And the more I saw it, the more important it became to me, just as it was to her. So when it came time for her to go to college, the money wasn't there. Even with financial aid, her grandmother still couldn't afford to come up with the tuition needed. So I decided that, I had confided in a couple of people that I didn't know what to do. And one of my friends just looked at me and goes, Tone, you have a treasure trove in your apartment. Why don't you just sell some of that stuff? And I was like, that's a good idea. So I went to a local show, and I took some of the big pieces I have, and I was able to sell them, and I came up with enough money to help her pay for her tuition for a semester.
Wow.
Somehow, through the grace of God, Mariano Rivera shows up at my house one day.
He just shows up?
I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and I hear a knock at my door, and I go to say, who is it? And all you hear at the other end is Mariano Rivera. I looked through the peephole, it was really him. I was like, whoa. So I let him in, and the next thing I know, he's with Brandon Steiner and a TV crew, and I have no idea what's going on. And he comes in and he talks to me about how I was helping her, and he wanted to help her, and he handed me a check from his foundation to pay for the rest of her tuition.
Wow.
So it was great. She went on to become the first member of her family to graduate from college, and she's in med school now.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. So I know the work doesn't stop here, right? We got some more things you want to do and the memorability. So talk about taking it to the next level before we go. What do you want? What do you want to see happen?
Well, what we were doing, we did the sports memorabilia thing, and now we were able to get tickets from a lot of the sports teams to take the kids to sporting events and use that as a reward for them meeting academic and social goals. But once that that kicked in, I also wanted to find like other ways. How can I use this gift that I have? And I over the years I've gotten to know a lot of pro athletes, and they know I'm a teacher and they're comfortable sitting down talking to me. So I started creating little video clips of them talking to the kids about how important education is, why should you stay in school, things like that. Now that I have that kind of cemented, my next goal is to have the kids do the interviewing. So I want the kids to be able to sit down with the athletes and actually have them interview them and have them talk to them about how important school is. And we've reached out to a few places, and we have some things in the works. We reached out to St. John's to possibly sit down and have the kids talk to Chris Mullen. And I have a few of former Giant players that I know that we may be able to do that with. So that's where we want to take it. And the whole thing is just basically to help the kids reach academic and social goals so that they can go on to high school and college and be successful.
Pleasure meeting you. Your
too.
Inspiration.
I try my best.
Mr. A, Anthony Apuzzi, teacher at the New York Institute for Special Education. So if you want to find out more information, of course, you saw his information at the bottom of the screen. Of course, you can go and support. Keep doing the great work. We thank you for what you're doing for young people.
Thank you for having me.
Taking the extra mile. No, good to have you, man. Listen, stay tuned. Taking a quick break. We got more shows. Stay with us. Don't go back. Don't go anywhere, I should say. We're coming right back right after this.
We are there, day one, with baby names and a gift that lasts a lifetime. We are there as you grow, protecting you and those you love. And we are there as you start your next chapter. We are with you through life's journey. We are Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Get to know us at socialsecurity.gov.
This video produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
And we certainly want to thank you for staying with us. Little Sun People is a unique community child care center with a mission to educate children in their most formative years about the history and culture of all people of color, with a particular emphasis on people of African ancestry. Here now to tell us more about her vision for the school is Fela Barclift, founder and CEO of Little Sun People, and board chairperson Kara Benton-Smith, and also a parent as well. And good to have you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for inviting us. Little Sun People is a passion and a dream, and a program that is almost 40 years old.
Wow.
38 years, 38 and a half. Started in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I was a cultural nationalist teenager, and I was looking for a picture, a history, a story for myself from the time I was 11 or 12 years old. And as I grew up, and I realized that I wanted to not only find it for myself, but give it to other people as well. And then I became a parent as myself. I wanted it for my children, so I started a school for them.
Awesome.
So that's how Little Sun People started. My daughter needed a school where there was a black doll.
And so you've taken it and moved on, and you moved on since there.
And I've grown, and
Right.
we've grown from there. And we've taken that cultural interest and responsiveness, and we have made it across like an interdisciplinary curriculum that in which every part of the curriculum has some piece or infusion of cultural intention, information, perspective that's in that piece of the curriculum.
Now, Kara, in addition to being
Yes.
a board member, you're
Yes.
also a parent,
I
right?
am.
And you got your child involved.
I did.
So what was the selling point for you in all this?
Whoa, you don't have enough time for that. But what I will say, if I had to sum it up, is that there was love there, there was care there, and there was a culturally responsive pedagogy that was there that was super important to my husband and I. I mean, our daughter is now 9. We have a baby boy who's 18 months. He'll be going in September. And I will tell you that my 9-year-old is thriving. She's clear about who she is. She's clear about being a budding black woman. She's confident. She's doing well academically. She soars. And all the Little Sun People really do. I mean, schools are knocking down this door. Our children come prepared. They come excited to learn, to be who they are unapologetically. And so that is a gem that Mama Fela knows I can never repay her for.
Right. And Mama Fela, talk to me about this, because when you talk about African American History Month, this is the month for it, right? But then culturally, for you, it's an understanding African history all throughout the course of the year.
That's right.
Talk to me about making sure that gets across, because for a lot of people, it'll end when February is over. But for you, obviously, this is a 12-month learning process for all of your students.
Well, case in point, that's why our African Heritage Play program celebration is March 14th, because that is just one of the small ways that we try to let our parents and our community know that for us, the study, the involvement, the love, the passion for black people, our interest and who we are, it extends throughout the full 12 months, not just in February, the shortest month of the year.
Right.
And not only do we do this with our Black History program, but we do it with everything that we have. We just presented at Bank Street talking about our cooking program. So as an example, every week we cook. We look for the teacher's mission in the cooking is not only to teach science, math, and social studies, but it is to teach geography. So we go to a different place in the diaspora where African heritage people live and cook. We find a meal, and then we give the children. There they are. Yeah. We have cooked all. We have made them their chef's hats and their Afrocentric aprons, and then we talk about that land where that meal came from. We learned something about those people and those ingredients, where they grow, how they grow. And then the children have all the math and everything else that's involved with going through the recipes and doing the different divisions, and then the preparation, the teamwork, working together cooperatively, which is what is something that comes out of a Black tradition.
Right.
And then we have the tasting together. So it's not just one piece; it's all the pieces.
So before we go, I gotta get the question in here. How do you get connected? If somebody's watching right now, what do they do?
Well, our waiting list is
long,
unbelievable. But we encourage parents to go on our website, take a look at who we are and what we do, and for parents who are interested to sign up for an interview and a tour. We have open houses every month.
Good. Kara, for you, it was worth the wait, huh?
Oh, more than worth the wait. My son's been on the waiting list since last year, since he was 1.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well worth it.
Well, Mama Fela, thank you so much. Kara, thank you so much for coming and
you.
sharing. Keep up the
Thank
great
you.
work. Your
Absolutely.
inspiration. Thank you much.
Thank you for having us.
All righty. And to find out more about Little Sun People, visit them at littlesunpeople.com. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Open coming up right after this. Thank you for staying with us. And Neighborhood Charter Schools is a high-achieving public charter school in our community. There are 2 facilities, and their new facilities are slated to open soon in Manhattan and the Bronx. Now, joining us to give us more details are Brett Galini, who is the Executive Director of Neighborhood Charter Schools, and Chief Operating Officer Sharita Smith, and Principal Nicholas Carton. We welcome you all to Here on Open.
Thanks
Good
for
to have
having
you.
us. Thanks for having us.
Congratulations, it's exciting. I mean, we've got an audience, of course, in Manhattan and the Bronx that are, dying to hear about education and things that are happening. And when you talk about schools opening, that's got to be a major thing. So I'll start with Brett and talk to us about what we got going on here.
Yeah, well, we have a lot going on. So we've been open in Harlem since 2012. We opened with kindergarten and first grade, and we've grown a grade each year ever since. And our Harlem school will be at full scale, and we're moving to a brand new facility on 145th Street. But what we're most excited about is our brand new school opening in the Bronx this summer, starting with kindergarten and first grade. I think what makes us most unique, there are schools everywhere, and education is very important to parents. And what we're excited to bring Bronxites is a brand new school and parent choice, especially those for students with special needs. We have a program for children with autism and who learn alongside neurotypically developing children.
So Sharita, for somebody who's talking about charter schools and we're seeing this new opening here, a lot of talk about being a part of a charter school. Talk to us about the benefits.
Well, one unique aspect about us is that we are a school of choice, as most public schools are. We are a school also located in private facilities. We are opening 2 brand new buildings this summer. We have 2 teachers in every classroom. So Brett mentioned a focus on students with special needs. We have a teacher that focuses on special education and another that focuses on general education. So we're able to differentiate in our classrooms. Our kids have science every single day starting in kindergarten. We have a longer school year and a longer school day. And we also offer after-school programming for our families. So for working families that may not be able to pick their child up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we have an after-school program that extends until 5:30 p.m.
So Nicholas, you get to be the principal for a great school, and talk to us about the expectation and what you want parents and students to know.
Well, what we kind of focus on in Harlem, I'm currently serving as the assistant principal of our K2 campus. We're a campus of love, we're a school of love, a school of community. We are very inclusive, but we also have very high expectations for our scholars. We really raise the bar because we find that all scholars rise to the bar, and if the bar is set here, this is as far as they go, but if you set the bar way up here, they're gonna get there to it. What I love about our school and what I tell everyone is that there's no possible school I would ever send my child to when I have a child other than NCS Harlem or NCS Bronx.
Awesome. And so for you guys, as we said before, being a charter school, a school of choice, right? So if somebody out there is watching and saying, listen, I want to make that choice, what opportunities do they have? How do they get connected?
It's very easy. We admit students through a blind lottery, www.ncschools.org. Parents can apply right online. It's very simple, and our lottery is in April, and we are admitting students both in Harlem and in the Bronx.
And so that's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Talk to us about, so far you've got your school rolling already. What's the atmosphere like, and for those people who want to get a feel of what charter school is like? We hear a lot of different things, but for somebody on the inside, talk to us about the atmosphere. I'll start with you, Sharita.
So we definitely believe in rigor. We definitely focus on rigorous academics. The kids have several hours of ELA and math each day, and I mentioned science every day starting in kindergarten. But we're also a school that serves young students. Kids come to us at age 4, and so we want to make school fun and joyful, and we want kids to have a love for learning. And so we really try to focus on a healthy balance between rigor and also focusing on developing the whole child as well. So I think when you walk into one of our buildings, you'll see exactly that. You'll see great instruction going on in the classroom, and you'll see kids walking around the hallways getting hugs by their teachers, and just us showing them love and them being introduced to the arts, and definitely try to focus on building the whole child.
And when we talk about school right here in the borough of the Bronx coming to us, and it's slated to open in August 2019.
Yes.
Right, so we're looking for what grades now?
Starting with kindergarten and first grade in the Bronx and growing all the way to 8th grade.
Are you fully enrolled yet, or can people still?
They can apply until April, so we encourage families who are looking for a great school to apply.
All right, well, we want to tell people to make sure they become a part of that. It's exciting to see schools come, and particularly here in the borough of the Bronx. I want to thank you all, best wishes, and hopefully some parents and some students out there will be excited and tap into you guys. Thanks much.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. Well, listen, I want to repeat again, Neighborhood Charter Schools is now accepting applications into the 2019-20 school year. Again, if you missed it, for more information, visit ncschools.org. Taking a quick break. We'll be back more open in just a few.
Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Hi, I'm David Lesch, legal correspondent to the morning show Open. If you have a legal question that you'd like me to answer, please send me an email at davidlesch@bronxnet.org, and I will address it on our Ask Your Lawyer segment.
And we are back. With Democrats now controlling the legislature and the governor's office, many changes have come to Albany. Now, plenty have made national news, like the hair discrimination law. Hair discrimination, well, what exactly does that mean? Now, here to discuss some of those new laws in detail is attorney and host of Today's Verdict, Mr. David Lesch. I can't even get his name right because it's been
so
so
long.
long. Like, I mean, he used to be here 2.5 years ago. You know, he's got his own show now, and we're grateful to just have you back.
Let me tell you, one of the reasons I'm here today, and I will start coming back as more often as I can, is that, you know, although I do have my own show and I'm able to interview, you know, various guests on different legal topics, I do get emails from viewers who want me to ask specific questions that I can't really answer on my show, because my show is really more for the other guests to give, you know, legal opinions and legal issues on certain legal issues. So I will try and come here as often as I can to answer some of the emails and some of the questions that the viewers have about certain things. But I've missed you guys, and it's been 2.5 years. I've missed the studio. I've missed a lot of the people here. I've grown my show, which has been nice. You know, we have almost 75,000 Twitter followers, and we're shown in Manhattan as well. And jurors like to talk to me after trials about this show and certain things, but this is really home for me. And it's important to see you, and it's important to see everybody else. So I promise I will be back.
Good. All right, well, let's get right into it now. We've got all the good.
All right, let's talk about one of the first topics I wanted to get to is really about some of the new laws that have come down since 2019. As you said, we have a new, you know, we have a Democratic Assembly, we have a Democratic Senate, and now, of course, we also have a Democratic governor. So we're getting things done. Things that we weren't getting done in the past are now starting to get done. So we have all these laws that I want to go over as quickly as I can to let the viewers see what's been going on. Here's the first one I want to get. The most important one is the minimum wage. And I don't know if it's been discussed before on your show, but the fact that now that we have a $15 minimum wage, if you have a business that has at least 11 employees in New York City, that's great news. I mean, $15 goes a long way to help pay back student loans and to help pay back certain things. So that's really important. Of course, it's $12 to $13.50, depending if you have less than 11 employees. But I thought that was a big one, and we wanted to get that through. That's good for the city. That's good for the state. And I think the country is catching up. I mean, Seattle's ahead of us, San Francisco's ahead of us, but we're getting there now. And I think that's one of the most important laws that we have enacted since 2019.
Okay.
Number two, we'll go in order. The no cigarettes in pharmacies. I love this because there was no reason to be selling cigarettes in places where you're actually getting, you know, drugs that you need to help you. Cigarettes are the worst possible thing for your body. So there's no more cigarettes in these pharmacies, CVS, big chain stores. You're not going to see cigarettes sold there. If you're going to really want them and you're going to get them, you'll probably get them in gas stations, sometimes in your local bodegas, but at least not in the pharmacies, not in the big in the big supermarkets. You're not going to see them there anymore. That's gone. Okay, the law's been passed. Can't sell them there. Done. This one I like as well. Styrofoam cups, containers. You know about this, right?
Styrofoam gone.
This has
no
been
takeout.
For years. Okay, you know, this Department of Sanitation has been pushing and pushing and pushing, and basically, you know, finally now with the Democratic control, they're like, that's it, done. So because this stuff doesn't dissolve in the ground. Horrible for the environment. You know, the Democrats are big on the environment. New law, we give you a 6-month grace period, you know, because there's some, I guess some stores are still selling it, but we're phasing it out. I mean, I think you think that's important.
It's important. You're going to see a lot of New Yorkers are really excited about that, too.
Big. Okay. Sexual harassment training. This is big. If you have a business that has at least 15 or more employees, every year now, there's a mandatory sexual harassment training. Every year, annually. So if you get it once, in the second year, you're going to get it again, and all new employees are going to get it. How important is that? I mean, it'd be nice if it was only 3 or 4 employees, but it doesn't matter. At least 15, you're going to be sitting down at a table, you're going to get some formal training, you're going to understand what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and that helps the employer, too. When you think about it, there's not going to be as many sexual harassment lawsuits. I see that in my office all the time. So I think that's
15 or more,
15
you're going to see
annually, every year.
Every year.
Every year. They're going to bring somebody in, hopefully, and they're going to train, and they're going to let you know, this is not appropriate. You can't say this. You can't comment on this person's clothing. You can't make certain gestures, even if it's not speaking. You can't use your hands and say certain things. Obviously, touching you can't do. These are things that are going to be trained. I mean, how important is that? Really important. Fees. When it comes to taxis, some people may not like this, but there's always a reason for it. And a judge has blocked this temporarily, but I think it's going to pass. It's a $2.75 surcharge if you take any Ubers or any particular car services. You're going to be charged $2.75 more. And if it's a pool in the car, it's going to be 75 cents more per person.
Across the state or in the city?
In the city.
Okay.
Now, why? Congestion.
Yeah.
If you're taking taxis, there's more cars. The more cars, the more congestion. If we're not going to be taxing tolls and increasing tolls or price charging coming in, so what are we going to do? We're going to do it this way, and we're going to force you. We're going to make you pay $2.75 more. We're going to force you to take public transportation, and if you take public transportation, less cars in the city. I thought that was a big one. I really like that.
Okay, one more then.
Okay, one more. Then we don't have much more. Diaper changing in public, in public bathrooms. So many more people are working now, and they don't have the ability to change. So we want to make sure that to change diapers, we want to make sure that men and women, if you're going to renovate a bathroom from now on, a public bathroom, from here on in, there's got to be a public diaper changing station for men and women to change their children.
That's awesome.
How's
Thank
that?
you for the recap. That's a lot.
I have like 10 more, but I just can't get to
That means you got to come back.
That's why I am going to come
That's
back.
why, yeah.
It's always a
Good
pleasure.
to have you.
Good to
David
see you, buddy.
Lesch, my brother here. Listen, we haven't had him in 2.5 years, and we're glad to have him. Want to tell you also, we come to the end of the show. Glad to have you. Thank you to all of our guests for joining us. Thank you to the viewer for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, guess what? You catch the recablecast at 5 and 10 p.m. on Optimus Channel 67. Verizon Fios, that would be Channel 33. Or watch us anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. That about wraps it up for us here on the set of Open. Daren Jaime telling you, make sure to keep this channel wide open. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon. Once again, good to have DL back.